everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while, but I'm still alive. And I think in light of my channel kind of just being a place where I recap my life as well as share about the cool things God's doing in my life, I wanted to introduce my home friend Heidi. So I grew up with Heidi, we went to the same home church, and she is currently a student, but at the start of her junior year semester, something very unexpected happened and she learned a lot through it. So today we want to share that story. So Heidi, I'll give you the floor. You can share a bit about yourself,
okay,
as well as what happened.
Sure. Yeah. Hello everyone, I'm Heidi. Yes, I am Lillian's home friend, and currently I'm a junior at Berkeley studying psychology and education. And yeah, the start of my spring semester, like normal, I went back to Berkeley campus, and then on third day of school, I was rushing to class at 8 a.m. in the morning, and then skipped a step of the stairs and fell down, and I sprained my right foot and then fractured my left foot, and then immediately went back home to South Bay. And the doctors were like, you maybe should consider taking time off school, like this is gonna take a while, like 2-3 months. And yeah, initially I was very scared, but I decided to continue school remotely, and yeah, and just been enjoying time at home. And so here I am just to share a little bit about the past 2 months, because it's been exactly 2 months now, and so definitely been a really interesting experience to say. Yeah.
So walk me through it, right? So me and Heidi actually went to a conference called CrossCon. We went to Philly. She was super excited to start her junior year winter semester. So when you first, I guess, fell down the stairs, you ended up there, had to go to the hospital, like what were you feeling like that whole time?
Yes, I think first it was just like a lot of denial. Like honestly, it was just like, this could not be happening to me right now, and like also that this is not as bad as it's gonna be. Like I'm a strong, independent woman, like I am totally fine, and like I'm young and it's probably no big deal. But I think once I went to urgent care and they were like, this is pretty serious, you should take time off of school. I think also the doctor that day was a little, I feel like he was moody, so like the way that he was talking to me really scared me, because I was like, dang, this is like actually really serious. And so it was just kind of like, wow, like I went from my highest high in the beginning of January, going to CrossCon with Lillian, and then going to Pennsylvania afterwards, and just being on a spiritual and emotional high. I was like, oh shoot, is this like my first big test kind of after it, especially since it is my junior spring. And so it was just like daunting of the fact that like something this big was happening. And it was scary because it's obviously like, okay, this can affect me probably the entire semester. And even after my recovery, like I'm still recovering, that I know it's gonna be interesting being back on campus. So I knew that this would have like long-term effects, and that's what really scared me.
Yeah, no, for sure. Often when these like physical injuries happen, like 1 second you're completely okay, next second everything's changed. Yeah. So what was it kind of like for you those first few days at home when you broke your legs? How was the pain? How did you get around? How did you adjust to suddenly losing so much mobility?
So being disabled disabled temporarily was definitely really weird. It brought a lot of new perspectives for sure, and it was really sad. I had to learn first to be really patient with my family members, because they were obviously also dealing with the shock as I was dealing with the shock. And they were just like, they had to help me get my water, or like help me get onto my bed, help me get to the restroom, help me shower, like all these things that I should be doing as a normal 20-year-old, I couldn't do anymore. And so it definitely was like really frustrating a lot of times where like I really needed to use the restroom, but I just couldn't go because I had to wait until someone helped me. And so that was really humbling in the beginning. And so the first 2 days I had like my 2 big breakdowns of just like this time period being at home, because I think it was like really frustrating. And then I think my parents saw the frustration and they were frustrated for me, and so I think our frustrations kind of rubbed off on each other. And so it definitely was really difficult because it felt like I was so helpless, and then also because there was a lot of insurance issues also, and it was kind of frustrating that I had to deal with that on top of just like my medical issues, and that was also really frustrating. And just like I was really just sad right away. And so it was really nice though that not the first night, I think the third night of me being injured, then people from church started, or actually no, the first day that I was back home after doctor visits, then Lillian came to visit, and then some more people came to visit, and then it felt like, oh, like a little better that like, okay, I have home church people. But for sure it was really interesting the first Friday after being injured, and just knowing that like everyone back in Berkeley and people in my fellowship were having their first large group of the semester, and here I was at home, and like it has only been the first week of school, and like I'm already like out. So it definitely was pretty sad.
Yeah, no, I can imagine it would be super disappointing, right? And I think COVID was different, because COVID we were all sent home, right? But in this one, you were the only ones at home, right? Everyone else is at school, hanging out. What was kind of your dialogue with God at that time? Were you very frustrated, angry? Yeah, what were you feeling?
I think for me, it definitely for sure was, I realized especially after this past week also, I realized that I was pushing away a lot of my sad feelings about things, because initially I was very shocked, but I never was angry with God in the beginning, surprisingly. And I think it really was thanks to probably going to CrossCon and just like having a different perspective on a lot of different things, and feeling like, okay, this is like my first challenge, like, okay, I'll accept this challenge. And just like, it is just a natural difficulty that, you know, comes with life, and you don't know what to expect. And so yeah, I think I was just like very just like, okay, like God, this is interesting, but I'll accept it, and I will roll with the punches, and I will learn to rely on you as much as I can during this time. So I think in the beginning I was just very just like, okay, like this is fine. I am someone who's like generally pretty optimistic, so it was really like, I didn't really want to sit in sadness with God. It was just more like, okay, I wanted to be optimistic, and I want to prove to myself that I'm like a stronger Christian, and I can like, you know, get over it and be like, oh, this is fine, because I know God has a plan for me. So it was just more like, okay, God has a plan for me, so I think everything's okay.
Yeah, very positive mindset. But I think it's definitely God's grace, right? Because it's so easy to get down and disappointed and angry, right, when these things happen. But I think seeing you through this time, it was also a blessing for me, because I had someone else to hang out with at home. Otherwise it's me and like 6 boys at church. But yeah, what were some of the blessings you feel like you experienced in staying at home, doing classes from home, things like that?
Yeah, there's been definitely a lot. I think for sure I knew if I was back on Berkeley campus, I would be so busy, and I would, this is my busiest semester. I am taking 5 classes, I am in a vice president position in my business club, I am like usual just doing a lot of things in my fellowship. So yeah, I was like, okay, this semester is gonna be really busy. And so being at home definitely, I think, made me realize that I needed to reorganize my priorities, and that I had to let go of control at a lot of things. And I think that was a blessing, because I think God knew that I would micromanage my life, and
if I could,
and really control everything. And and that I would probably burn myself to the ground if I did not have this like forced rest. So I think that was like a blessing in disguise. And then also just that I'm able to spend a lot of time with my family, and especially my 2 sisters, because my baby sister, who's 7, when I left for college, I was really sad that like I would not be able to see her childhood and her growth. So yeah, I was really sad that I was not going to be able to see her growing up and going to elementary school and going to a bunch of these extracurriculars. But I was like, wow, I can be able to see just like these 2 months. They change every single day. So I think it was really a blessing. And then that I can also be with my other sister, who is currently just going through college apps and like now getting college results back, and I can just like be there for her in person. And then also that I have been able to take care of my health more at home, eat a lot healthier for sure, because my mom cooks very healthy, have time for consistent exercise, and have a consistent sleep schedule. And then another blessing that I saw was just that like, it was the first time where I learned that like, it's okay to let other people serve me and love me too. Because I think for people who are the oldest daughters would know, or just like the oldest daughter in the family would know that it's really easy for us to be like, oh, we can do everything and that we're independent, and sure, we like are okay with some people helping us sometimes maybe, but not this much. And it was like the first time where I was like feeling like, oh, I was being really needy, just asking people like, oh, can you come visit me, because I just need to have some human interaction the first few days. And so it felt really bad because it was just like, oh, I'm just showing my most vulnerable and weak side to people, and they're seeing that like, oh, I'm really relying on them, and like they're gonna have to pull through for me or not pull through for me, and I have to be okay with that. So yeah, I think back in Berkeley, I think usually I assume like the older sister role, I would say, and like taking care of people, and I was very, very burnt out after last semester, and just I was kind of already anxious about dealing with people this semester, to be honest. There was a lot of things where I feel like I had to resolve, and I think it was really good, yeah, for me to be able to just feel like, okay, I can be loved by my parents, by my sisters, by my church community that I grew up with, that I still have a place where I belong, and people still look forward to seeing me, and just like seeing people in my fellowship back at Berkeley who has also tried their best and just reaching out and like scheduling calls with me and like getting me still involved as much as possible, like zooming me in for women's small group. And then I've been doing like this biblical counseling class with 2 people every Friday, and that's really, and yeah, I think just everyone who has decided to drive down from Berkeley to come see me, I'm like, wow, you decided to come 1 hour. Like, you know, like you don't have to, but like you still did. So I think those moments of being like, okay, this is like God's grace for me, and he wants to show me how much people care about me, and that like God sees me and knows me, and he knows my heart, and he knows I am someone who really cares about relationships, and that he's gonna still bless me with it, even in a time that feels like isolation.
Yeah, a lot of unexpected blessings. I think even through COVID, you know, a lot was lost, but like my story through COVID is, it was because of COVID that A, I got to just rest at home and recover, but then B, that I moved into my house. So if it were not for COVID, I wouldn't have met those people, you know? So I think it's really hard, like in the painful moments, it feels like we lost so much, but perhaps God is blessing us with something better. We just can't see it right now. So I guess I want to hear, so you and I, we both went to very stressful schools where I think people are very preoccupied with the future careers. I think there are a lot of like immigrant kids, right? And while our parents, you know, had to struggle to make their way to the US, like for us, we kind of grew up here, and our purpose is just to get a job, right? And we both read the book, The Unrelentless Pursuit of Hurry by John Comer. And I'm curious, how has your perspective towards the future changed? Because a lot of people, when their health gets impacted, they kind of like have a whole new perspective now. They're like, oh, the things I was worrying about, it wasn't that deep, you know? Like, where are you at? Do you feel like you already found yourself falling back into old patterns of thinking about the future? How has it shifted your perspective?
Yeah, I think for sure, in the beginning, it was just realizing that like, health is really number one. That like, yes, we are really young right now, but that like one day our bodies are gonna deteriorate, right? And like just being able to sleep well and eat well and being able to exercise is already a blessing in itself. And I think that was something that that I was like really made aware of during this time. And just that like I think being able to just like sit at home, like I realized that like sure, it is great and all to live a really busy college life, to go out, I don't know, go party or just go travel. All these things that you see on Instagram definitely is very eye-catching. I think I realized the depth of the verse of like what is it to like gain the whole world but lose your own soul? Because I think last semester it was really like, oh, I was just like grinding so hard and just working really hard and pouring into a lot of people and pouring out of basically nothing. I really lost myself, I feel like, last semester, like towards the end. Like I still knew who I was, but I was just like very, just like, why am I so frustrated dealing with the people that I do care about? And like, life shouldn't be so hurried where we feel like, oh, we have to I don't know, meeting up with people is just like, oh, like a checklist, and like you just go off the people that you need to meet with, things that you need to do, like eating, sleeping is like your checklist, and just feeling like yeah, like what's the purpose of all that if you're gonna go to bed every night just being like Saturday comes, you know, instead of living every single day where you're like, oh, I'm really looking forward to this day. So I think now that I have been injured, I realized that like internship stuff, especially for the summer, like sure, that is something that I still worry about, because it is something that like, God wants us to steward our talents well, but I think he also wants us to, he cares more about who we are becoming as a person rather than where we're gonna go. This is something that I just heard from my friend yesterday, who I called, and she was like, yeah, God, like, like you can do a lot of great things in a lot of places, but it's more important like who you are becoming as a person that God is most concerned about. And if you are going to go into a competitive field, like working at like a big 4 company or some big tech company, and just become a slave to that, a slave to work like 70-80 hours a week, and just not taking care of yourself, like you're not going to be happy with yourself, and the people around you are going to feel kind of sad looking at your life, and also God is going to be really sad. And I think God has a lot better plans and bigger plans than I can even imagine right now for myself, and it's just made me realize that like God is going to provide something, and he will have a way, and like I shouldn't try planning too much, because like my plans usually never come into fruition, and like obviously I could have never planned an injury, right? And like it's like God has already given me enough tools in each season of my life to get through it in the moment. And so it's like, why worry about the next thing that you're gonna have to prepare for?
There are a lot of worries in life. They never end. So where are you with your recovery now?
Yes, recovery now. So I'm at 8 weeks, and then my doctor just told me that I need 3 more weeks in my boot, which is something that I did not want to hear. So definitely this week was like the hardest week, because it was very disappointing, because I've been working out a lot every day. So I would say I do a solid like 20 minutes of my leg workout, and then do another 10 minutes of abs, and then another 10 minutes of arms, and I'm like, I'm so strong now. And then I have to do like physical therapy stuff with my foot, and just like do these movements with my feet, like lifting up and down with like resistance bands and whatnot, and I've been doing that every day. And so just hearing that my bone isn't healing that fast, I was just like, why, And so, and I asked my doctor, like, why do you think I'm not healing? And he's just like, you're just unlucky. And I'm just like, okay, that feels rough to hear. Just feeling like I've already done so much, but there's nothing more that I can do. So yeah, that definitely was like kind of frustrating, because knowing that like, oh, I want to come back to Berkeley on April 1st, and that the first week back I'm gonna still have to wear a boot, and like going to have to deal with going up and downhill Berkeley. And so yeah, that there's like a lot of new challenges ahead, and I'm really anxious about going back. But I think that's going to be another new challenge ahead for me, and God teaching me that there's things I can't control, and like it's okay if like I can't get to class as fast as I want to, or if I'm late, or if I'm like wasting time or losing time. I think I worry about how like my commute is gonna take away a lot of time from me doing other things. But yeah, that God has a plan in that, so I'm gonna have to trust.
One step at a time.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah. No, I think there's a purpose behind everything, right? And we don't know why things happen. But I think at least knowing that, God has a plan for our life and he provides, we can just rest in it. And honestly, I feel like we all just need to rest and chill. Like, it is way too fast paced here in the Bay when you're on college. Okay, so pretend you meet someone else who breaks both of their legs and faces a big major disappointment. What would you respond to that? What would you tell them?
So first I would say to just give a lot of grace to yourself, and not rushing into getting back to normal life, because I realize that breaking both of your feet is literally God's way of being like, you just need to just chill out, stop trying to run everywhere. Because yeah, at college sometimes I am just running, literally running on the streets of Berkeley. And just being like, why am I rushing? Like, why do I need to rush? And yeah, like there is plenty of time to do things that you need to do in each day. Like if you really think about it, like the things that are most important in your life, like you will have time to do those things. And so yeah, so I think it was just really hard the first few days where I feel like, oh, I was pushing myself to still be like really productive and like getting everything done that I normally get done. And yeah, feeling like, oh, I had very little energy to do a lot of the things I normally would be able to do in a normal school day, mainly because I had slept really bad the first few days. And so I think it's really easy to beat yourself up for it, because it's like it's kind of hard because it is just my legs, so it's not like a cognitive injury or like my brain injury or like some like huge impact to like my cognition and ability to function in my brain. So it's just like, oh, I should be able to be a normal person and just like think like a normal person and think as fast as a normal person. But that this was such a big physical limitation for me, and that like my body was telling me to slow down, and that like it is okay to slow down, was something that I learned. So I think for someone who is freshly injured, I would say that let yourself be loved by people, and let yourself just enjoy the friendships and relationships that you have, because I think I am someone who does like to give to people, and like for someone who does like to give, like it's really hard to be injured and feel like I can't physically provide anything for people. I can no longer cook for people. I can't just drive people wherever they want. I can't go to you. People have to come to me. And so things like that, just feeling like I feel bad that like I am wasting people's time, and like they don't have to take care of me, they don't have to come see me, they don't have to push me in a wheelchair either, but that they choose to do it. And so humbling to know that like people do love you for you, and like you don't have to prove yourself. Because yeah, I don't know, I feel like I always try to prove myself to people and that I'm worthy of being helped, so it's almost like the mindset. And I think it also comes with just like the Asian in us feeling like, oh, like we don't want to deal in, and we don't want to like we want to save face, and we don't want to burden other people, and we don't want to ask favors, but that like the godly mindset, or like in a Christian family, like we are supposed to take care of one another, and that like when one part of the body breaks, like the entire body is hurting for that one part of the body. And we are meant to take care of one another, and that like if this happened to anyone else, I would be like automatically there to like help them out, but then for me, I'm just like, why am I so bad at receiving this help? So I think like that's what I've learned, like just like let yourself be loved and just stop, don't resist it, because you just shouldn't. Like just like people, if people are genuinely being loving and kind, just take it. And so yeah, I think that's what I also learned. And then I think another thing is just like enjoying the little things in life. Like everyone, or just like right now, like seeing the grass around me, like wow, it's so green because it was raining so much, and like seeing the sunshine, just seeing people watching, just like little things that like are so mundane. And like when you are rushing through life, especially when I was at Berkeley, like you don't care how sunny it is, you don't care about how blue the sky is, you're just caring about like all the things that you're worried about with school and work and whatnot. So I think when you are injured, I feel like, or just when God has placed you in a time where you are slowing down, I think just learning how to enjoy the little things in life, and just like really appreciating everything with your 5 senses that you still have, because like just having this is like not the end of the world. I can still see, I can still hear, I can taste and smell, I can do.
Cool. Any last thoughts? I feel like we shared a lot.
I did share a lot. Let's see. I think I just want to say to everyone who is out there who's watching, just for everyone, if you're watching, most likely has supported me a lot in some way in this journey. And yeah, I just really wanted to document this time, because I know that like some people want to hear some big general updates, but it's hard for me to give like a really good update over text. So I just kind of wanted to just like let you guys know how I'm doing, and then also just a big thank you for everyone who has just really loved me during this time and have shown just their unrelentless patience. Yeah, that I can't be someone who's physically there for you either during this time, but that you are just so gracious to be here for me. So I'm really thankful for that, and just really honored to be still friends with everyone. And just like, wow, you did not forget me. I think that was my #1 worry. I was like, people are gonna forget me because I'm at home for 2 months.
No, people can't forget you. You're too loud. I'm
too loud to be forgotten. So yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I think I just hope that this is in some way encouraging for people, and just for my busy friends out there, because I know there's a lot of you guys who are really rushing and hurrying and just like preparing to apply for internships, or preparing to apply for hospice school, or apply for medical school, and all these things are really important, and like God wants us to do these things, and he wants successful people to be Christians and to be in those fields. But I think like it's really important to remember what is truly important in life, and it is just the relationships you have with people and your relationship with God. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot to ask, I know you wanted to share some like worship songs that meant a lot to you.
Oh yes.
Okay, go.
So worship songs I really loved was first Firm Foundation.
And
yes.
which lyric?
Something.
Christ is my firm foundation.
Oh yeah, he'll never let me down.
And the rock on which I stand.
Oh yeah, he's the rock on which I stand. Yeah, I think Firm Foundation was like definitely something that really carried me through a lot in the beginning, and it was the first worship song that I was listening to on the Sunday when I came back, and Lillian was singing it front stage, and it was dark because I was sitting in the back and she couldn't see me crying, but I was crying because I don't know, it just moved me in a different way that I wouldn't have moved me. So Firm Foundation was really good, and just I've been really obsessed with Common Gathering and their covers. So I really like When I Think About the Lord, and then Mercy, and then Pure is really good. So I think like those songs, I think they all they touched me in a different way, and I felt like there was a lot of just like Holy Spirit moving through me, listening to those songs, and just now playing those songs on the piano because I can use my right foot to pedal, and just like feeling like worship has been a really good way that I've connected with God during this season, and that for people to just like slow down and just like listen to the music, especially like also when you are doing corporate worship and like singing with fellow believers, just to look around and just see the fellow believers that you are like singing with, because it is really encouraging to see other people being also encouraged by these words, and that this is going to be the image of what we have to come ahead. So yeah.
Cool. Thanks for sharing, Heidi. Hope you
you
enjoyed our little show with her sister and the bunny jumping around. But yeah, that's it. I'm gonna teach Heidi how to edit this video. But yeah, I don't know when the next video on this channel is coming. Maybe when I'm in Japan.
Yes.
We'll see, or something related to that. But I'm still alive. I'm working as a nurse. Life is fine. Yeah. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. See, it's not bad. It comes out.
Say hi to the camera.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, let me check the sound.
你要脱掉吗？我帮你脱掉一件，还是你要帮你脱？
Yeah, Heidi's just talking. You just come in and out, okay? Okay, well, hold on. If you want to be in, you have to sit here, okay? Just sit here, okay? Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Let's just go.
Do we look at there?
You can look wherever. I'm gonna walk behind, that's okay, but don't walk in front, okay?
Don't
Because
walk
then
in
you
front,
block the film, okay?
You'll walk behind us.
Yeah.
I take a video.
So cute.
I don't know. What is it?
Okay, now this is gonna be even hard. So cute.
Which way?